Coming to you from beautiful downtown Spokane, where you can enjoy all 4 seasons in just one day. Because when we do nature, we go hardcore. It's the QueerCentric with your host, Queerly Jonny.
Hello to everybody out in the video land, and also to the lovely people who are here in the audience at Lunarium. You are allowed to make noise, I promise. That's what I wanted. That's what I want to hear. It's Jonny, of course, your favorite host of the QueerCentric. We come to you every Tuesday, and we're having fun. We've been at this establishment a few times and done some shows. Typically, we're put in the corner because that's where we belong. But now we're going to do something fun and interactive for those people who are in this beautiful establishment with us today, and to make all y'all at home jealous because you ain't with us. So next time, we'll see you here. But I do want to welcome Aimee Clark. You are co-owner of Lunarium, which we talk about a lot. Let's first start with, tell our listeners and our audience, how would you describe Lunarium?
I would describe Lunarium as the quirky, weird after-hours place that you always dreamed existed, but is now real.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like how I want to describe my life. Sounds perfect.
But it's true. It's like when we thought of this idea, we kept thinking, oh, it would be so cool if there was this place. And then, ta-da, here we are.
Well, you know what's so weird? One of the things we always talk about is that you guys are open way later than any other coffee shop in Spokane. When I was down in LA, not even LA has late night coffee shops. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe it's something that happens when pandemic happens and after, but this is fun to have it back and in Spokane. So, yeah.
And I think this is kind of a Spokane thing. So I'm not a Spokane native. But when me and my partner Dorian were talking about this, we kept hearing these epic stories of late night coffee places in Spokane, like the Elysium and Java Junkies. And so we kept hearing all of these wonderful stories about places that used to exist and that used to be late night coffee shops and used to be killer.
Exactly.
And then it was just something, and then everybody closed and everything died out.
And then no one came back.
Yeah.
I will say this, I was in here not long ago. The college kids love that you guys are here.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people from Gonzaga had come over. Mm-hmm. So I didn't feel old at all.
No.
This much. Right? So,
I do too.
But it was fun. And to know I get creative people especially tend to get a lot of really good work done after 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's amazing. One of the things, we're going to do something special tonight. Every time we do a show here, you introduce us to new things, new flavors, all of that. And we thought it would be super fun if we did a tasting for everybody who's here of 4 teas that you have curated with your partner yourselves to bring here. And I thought we should do that while we talk about the importance of Lunarium, creating a safe space, having a third place. So why don't we do that? Are we ready to think about our first one today?
Yeah, I think so. Dorian?
I love it.
You good? First tea? Excellent.
Brewing. And okay, so last time you and I talked about teas, you were very disappointed in my lack of knowledge.
No, I wasn't disappointed.
I was.
I'm always happy
Your eyes
to tell
were disappointed.
My eyes were disappointed.
Well, one of the things was so I love learning things, right?
Yeah.
So what it taught me is I need to go learn some stuff. But I had made, because I have a lot of friends that are from Britain and over there, and I had made a comment about I'm trying to be like them, and you let me know, well, that's not where it started.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, what came from colonialism. Like, it started beyond that. So while we wait for this to brew, why don't you give us some facts about tea?
Okay, so like you said, what people traditionally associate with tea is the product of colonialism.
Yes.
So what a lot of people don't understand is tea is only one plant with 2 different varieties of the same plant. And traditionally, that was only grown in China. And so how it started out is a little conflicted, but it first started out as food and food as medicine. So it was like bringing the herbs and the herbal element to have a longer life, to have a better quality of life. And then once that phase of tea was over, they started to be a little bit more drying of herbs, and it became a little bit more medicinal.
Yeah.
Instead of the food herbal thing, it became more tea as medicine. And then this really weird thing happened where it became tea as powder. And for some people know like what matcha is it's a tea powder and you have to whisk it together. Well, there was a period in China where tea was only that. And we know this because of studying the pottery that has been left behind.
Yeah.
And what was really fascinating is you see the darkest pottery was actually made to like reflect the foam of the whisked tea. But anyways, I digress. Lots of tea.
But that's true. It was like 1100. We have
Yeah.
found ceramic teapots back to 1100 BC. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then once the Huns invaded China, they wiped out almost completely tea culture. Almost completely disappeared.
Yeah.
Except for a few bastions in Korea and Japan, who still kept up this tradition
Yeah.
of the whipped teas, the whipped powdered teas. And so
Sounds kinky. I'm just gonna say it.
the whipped teas.
Whipped tea.
The whisked teas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, my brain went right off track
You're
there.
welcome.
So then after that, the tea tradition became what it is now, the loose leaf tea. And so processing the tea leaf in many different ways to have many different flavors, many different types of tea, but it is still one plant.
Yeah, that's insane.
And it is really insane because depending on the treatment of it, but also depending on where it grows and how, you have this just like insane, just like color wheel of flavors, a lot like coffee and a lot like grapes. And same thing with tea.
And green tea, white tea, black tea, all of them can come from the same plant.
Yes.
Which is what's insane to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all just different processing of the leaf.
I have a trivia question for those that are in the building right now. How many leaves does it take to make a pound of coffee? Anyone? Just shout it out.
A pound of coffee?
I mean, I'm a coffee
Those are
addict.
beans.
How about, yeah, good job. You win. It was a trick question. I'm that smart. I just threw it in. How many leaves does it take to make a pound of tea? Even better. Anyone?
50.
Oh,
No.
no. I'm gonna say like
Thank you for guessing.
No.
at least 6 digits. No. A pound? No. 3,000?
Okay, anybody else?
10,000.
10,000, 3,000, 50. Anyone else? It actually, I learned that it takes 2,000, you're close. 2,000 leaves. And did you know, see, I learned stuff. She helped me learn things.
Yay!
Did you know that also, if you leave a tea tree alone, it can grow up to 52 feet. But if you harvest them, they can come up to your waist. Well,
Yeah.
someone taller than me's waist. So, listen, we can teach you things on the show, which rarely happens. So we love that. I see more tea coming out.
Oh, yep.
So what
this
is
our
the
tea.
first tea that we're going to be tasting
Here you are, Jonny.
in this
So,
flight of
in this
teas?
flight of teas. So this is our tranquility.
Oh, I need that.
And yes, it is a pun. We did spell tranquility with a T-E-A.
Oh, I
at
like
the end,
this. I like it.
because puns live here forever. But no,
As they should.
this is actually a very specialty to us at Lunarium.
Yeah.
So this is one of the first teas we ever served in our pop-up location.
And
So-
where was that?
So that was on Grand, over by the cathedral. And that was where we kind of tested out our concept and got kind of our foot in the door, where we gained some experience and tried to figure out if our concept was viable.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys were like smart and planned out your business plan and everything.
We tried to.
I mean-
we definitely tried really hard to be smart about it.
So when people are tasting teas for
Yes.
the first time to see of what they think,
Uh-huh.
do you suggest they don't doctor it yet? They
Correct.
taste it first? Okay.
Yes.
Is everybody tasting their tea?
And nobody burn their mouths, please. It's very easy to do.
We still need your opinion. I mean, what if we can find out what you think of it doctored?
But so this is an herbal blend. It has no caffeine, and it is all
Oh, you lost me at no caffeine.
no caffeine, no caffeine. Well, we're a late night place, so we have a lot of no caffeine
Yes,
options.
true. And for ASMR listeners, here's the tea being stirred. You're welcome. So I have questions. Someone tell me out there your experience of this tea. Do you like it? What do you feel?
Oh, feelings.
I know feelings. We're all the things. I see a head nodding, but I don't know if that's a good nod or a bad nod.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really delicate.
That is a good, that's true.
Very, very
Yeah, it
delicate,
doesn't hit
very
you
floral.
over the head. It just
has
is
a
a
lot of-
nice.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking over you.
No, you're
it
good.
has a lot of lavender and rose
Oh,
petals.
no wonder
and
I
mint.
like it.
Oh yeah.
So this is kind of what helped you in the beginning. This is one of your, this is Lunarium's. You need to make your own
Yeah.
version of this because it's special to Lunarium.
It is. It also helps with tension headaches, just in case.
Oh, helps for tension headaches for those of you, which is me every day.
You are attention.
See, I am a tension headache. It's true. But so once you taste the teas, if you want to doctor it, you can put cream in it.
Oh, yeah, of
There's this
course.
fancy little. This is what you use for your cubes of sugar. That's
Uh-huh.
how not fancy I am. That's very exciting to me.
What, sugar
So-
cubes? Here,
Yeah,
let me
look.
get the lid off. There
I
you
want
go.
to try. Look, you can just go, and they're hard, and I'm just
Uh-huh.
gonna drop it in.
We
I
love
love
sugar
that.
cubes.
Okay, and this is where Maggie Smith will ask you if you would like one
Or
lump or two.
Yeah. But no, we really like that tea. And what else we do have a lot of caffeine-free options just because we are open so late.
Well,
so.
and that's what I mean. That was one of the things that started drawing me to tea because as I get older, I mean, I'm
Gross.
only 30.
Right,
that
right.
it will affect you more as you get older. But do you know what? I want to share a random fact. I was
Yay.
told so many times it's the same thing for tea and for coffee. We were told for how many years that it's dehydrating, so you don't want to drink it. It's a lie. Tea, and there have been studies made for tea and coffee. It does not dehydrate you, even though, like rice, you can use dry tea to dry out your phone if you drop it in the toilet. So there you go. Yeah.
Oh,
did
I
you know
didn't.
that?
No, I did not know that.
Yes. So now you guys that can be an extra service.
No. No, I am not selling
No,
tea.
I know, too,
for
for
toilet
people.
phones.
Exactly.
No, I'm not.
Toilet phones are kind of not okay.
No.
But I love that. So what has it been like since, how long has Lunarium been at this location on Monroe?
So we opened May 5th, so it's been over
nice.
6 months. It's been almost 7 months now, actually. And it's been really great. We really like the neighborhood. Everyone's been super friendly, very welcoming, and very excited to have someone
Yes.
in the neighborhood that's a hangout location. Oops.
Yeah. And there will be certain days that I will come in here just
Yeah.
because now if you want a jolt, you guys have Vietnamese coffee in it always. I get so hyped, like my handshake, and it's a very happy moment for me. And it will be packed in here.
Yeah.
There will be people everywhere. And then Gonzaga's newspaper showed up randomly and took pictures of us all. And that's exciting because being a small business, if you don't have the supporters, that can be hard. So I always tell people I try to only shop local and businesses that are local to Spokane because that's important to do it. So for everybody here, this is great, and I appreciate that everybody came, and I know Aimee does too.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
This is, I know it's not very business-like, but I always feel like this is my own personal dining room, and you're all just here for my personal tea party.
Do you have high tea yet?
I don't have high tea
I want to
yet.
wear the hat.
You can
Everybody-
always wear a hat.
Get those hats out,
well,
that
my
you'd either...
scones are right there.
See, this is what needs to happen. So everybody here, we're all down. We're going to make a high tea time.
tea,
We're
yeah.
going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
We have hats.
have you ever seen, again, back to Britain. So
Yeah.
sorry. But back to Britain, if you go anywhere, because actually when tea came to Britain, only the royals drank it because it came from the marriage of Charles II and then the princess in Portugal. And Portugal and Denmark were importing tea to them for hundreds of years. And then when they got married, they're like, but then they only kept it to themselves. And so it became this listen, I told you, I watched documentaries.
Man.
I wrote some. It's really crazy in there.
You're going to outsmart me.
Oh, you inspire me.
Oh,
So
thank you.
let's talk about what it is about tea. I mean, to open a tea shop, you have to love it.
Yeah.
What is it about this that you and your partner were like, we need this?
So funnily enough, when we first opened, we just assumed that we would be 50% coffee and 50% tea. And my partner loves both. I'm a little bit more tea oriented, but I also really love coffee. So we're like, great, 50-50. We can like rotate the menus. We can do local roasters. We can do blah, 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 blah. And then we opened the pop-up and we realized that it was maybe 10% coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe. And so we were like, tea. Okay, people want tea. People want tea. Tea, 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 more tea. And we're
Always
like,
tea.
awesome.
We
Great.
want to spill it. We want to drink it. We
All
want
the
it
tea.
all.
Well, and what was really great is we started kind of looking around at not the competition, but more like the presence in Spokane of who's doing good tea. And where do we need to go?
This is where the tea gets spilled. Who's doing good tea?
I'm not allowed to say.
I'll tell you afterwards. Everybody just come.
Yeah, everybody
come
could
see me.
say afterwards. But anyways, and what are the tea places like?
Yeah.
And at the time, they were very much like the high tea,
Right.
or the very kind of very cold, very modern spaces. And we didn't want either of that. So we're like, well, if we're wanting something this badly,
Right.
surely something will resonate with others.
Right.
Kind of in the middle. And then we're like, okay, what kind of tea do people want to drink that come to this place? And so then we were thinking, well, obviously the herbals without the caffeine.
Right.
And then we started thinking about, we want to bring unusual things.
See, that's where you have me.
Yeah, we want to bring the unusual things because you can have regular tea easily in Spokane.
Yeah.
Very easily. But to walk into a place like you can here and just ask for a recommendation or a tea adventure or, hey, I kind of like this, but I don't really know.
Right.
But you can have an almost bartender-like experience here.
Okay, we're gonna back up. Tea adventure.
Tea adventure.
I love that. So if someone comes up to you guys and like, I want to go on a tea adventure.
Yes.
What do you do? You
What do
bungee
I
jump.
do?
Yeah,
What do I
it's a whole
do?
thing.
So I love it when people come up to me and say, I don't know what I want. I don't know anything about anything. Just give me something.
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely. I have my own little stash behind the bar of the more interesting teas. And so I'll ask a couple questions usually just to make sure we're kind of good. Like what kind of things do you like? Like what kind of flavors? But then we'll just find the weirdest, newest, wackiest kind of tea that we have.
Well,
and that's what you'll get.
You and your partner have also gone places to get teas.
Yes.
Like specifically. Like weren't you? I think you were in Portland area for a little bit to get teas.
No. Well, we went to Seattle. But there is
Seattle. There we go.
But there is a very special individual that lives in Portland and who does tea journeys, and he is a hardcore tea monk. I know it's crazy, but his name is Tea Monk Poe.
Oh, it is. His title is actually Tea Monk.
Yes.
Tea Monk Poe.
And it is this lovely, tiny little man who lives in an artist commune and who will serve you tea in his garden. Wow. And some of the teas he collects are just so incredible, like 40 years old, and he just picks them by vibes. So like he never has the same list. Like it's
I love this. I feel
experience.
like you had to decide whether you were going to eat the red pill or the blue pill before you met him. So is he real? We don't know. We're not sure. But it sounds amazing. That's how I want to pick tea.
The goldfish in his pool were real.
I love this.
I know.
Well, and do you know something else I found very fascinating in all of my years of research on this?
Of course.
Did you hear the legend of how tea was discovered? There was that emperor in China, who was just happened to be boiling water for, they don't tell you why, and then the wind blew and like dried tea leaves dropped in the boiling water, and he was like, oh, this is great. This just sounds like for people in my world, when gay guys try to tell their parents how they met and they can't say the word grinder. You know, you make up your own tea, and I thought that is the weirdest story. It's so convenient.
Yeah. It is very convenient.
So we don't know. It could have been him. Could have been Tea Monk.
Oh, it could have been.
He could have been
anything.
the original. Yeah.
But I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did.
I feel like Tea Journey is a lot like, I love, you hear about cider flights and beer flights. Like tonight feels like we're having a tea
journey.
flight.
We're having a tea
Yeah,
journey.
a tea journey, which is much better because
Now-
we're going to try a few.
And I have to say, a real tea journey is carefully prepared because there's actually elements in tea and like the enzymes and the minerals that, if done properly, which I am not trained in, I am not a tea monk, but will give you
Yet.
almost like a euphoric effect,
Yeah.
as well as copious amounts of caffeine.
Oh, that always gives me a euphoric
But there is
effect.
such a thing as a tea journey, like an actual
I love this.
journey.
And that needs, is it on your menu?
It's
Let's put
coming. We're gonna
tea journey on the menu. I feel like there might be a little bit more of a tea journey heading our way.
Oh, there
I
sure
think
is.
so.
Oh, here's tea number 2, guys.
Tea number 2.
All right.
So this one, caffeine or no?
This is caffeine.
Okay,
This is
for
a
all
black
of my
tea.
fellow addicts, caffeine is in this one.
Yes.
Oh
And
wow, it has that smell. It just
Uh-huh.
hits you. I love that. Again, ASMR people. It's amazing how much money you can get from that. I'm telling you. Okay, so tell me about this tea.
so this is our Cocoa Noir. This is our fall release. And it is a chocolate chai. It's delicious. Yes.
Did you say cocoa noir?
I did say Cocoa
I
Noir.
already feel fancy.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read the little descriptive it has on the menu, it's hilarious. But what were you gonna say?
No, I want to know, what is this description that's hilarious?
I don't have.
We'll have a menu sent our way.
Menu?
But this time I have a challenge for lovely Holly in the audience when you get your tea. I want to know what you think before adding
Oh,
stuff
thank
to
you.
it. Just so I know. I want to know what you think before and after.
Yes,
Before and after.
but before and after, because it's important for
Yeah.
this tea.
This has a spice to it.
Yes, this has a
There
spice.
is a spice in there.
And because it does have a chai mix, and it also has black and white pepper.
Oh, that's what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the description says, black tea and cocoa beans stumbled into my office like a pair of black cats. I knew right away that this would be a chai spicy case.
Wait, what? Who did that? Who said
Oh,
this? Who wrote it?
That is Dorian.
That
my
is
partner.
amazing.
He is a writer.
Oh, I can tell. I was going to say,
Uh-huh.
where's the book?
Oh, it's got
Wait, is that? Do I need to like
Read all of them?
Okay, this.
Yes.
Everybody, make sure you get a. That's
menu.
very creative.
Yes.
I am positive creative energy over here. Now, while everybody sipping it. Okay, do we have? I want to know what audience people think. What do you think?
I'm not an audience people.
You're not an audience people.
What does the couch think?
What is the yes?
We're the group, we're the couch.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm not normally a tea person, but I'm loving it.
I haven't tried
Couch
it.
number 2.
I haven't tried it yet. Hold on.
They're all trying it on the couch. You guys should be here. If you're missing it, FOMO for you.
Shame.
What's happening on the couch?
There is a Holly. You're doing it pre-doctoring it up. Do
Okay.
you taste that? I like it.
I can smell and taste the chocolate.
Yes, and the pepper. I love that
I'm not
hit
getting
of
much
pepper.
pepper.
Give it a second.
But
It'll hit you. I promise you. What do we think?
couch number 2.
Hello.
No.
I know you're here with us, right? What do you think?
Okay,
See?
good.
What do you think?
I've done before.
Oh, and you love it. So everybody's saying you love it. What do you think?
Really good.
With cream? Johnny, do you need some cream?
Oh, I'll try it with cream.
The couch number 2 burnt his tongue because it went too fast.
Now you won't taste anything for the rest of the
Exactly. I
day.
know. You guys were rushing me.
See? We will flag down someone while we continue our conversation for
Yes,
cream. I do
indeed.
want to try it with cream.
You should. It's good.
Oh yeah, it'll be amazing. So, should we find some more amazing facts? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Listen, I am a proper gay man,
Of
so
course.
I love everything iced. And I did discover that in the 1904 World's Fair, that was when iced tea was introduced to us here in America,
Oh.
which is crazy. So it makes me happy because the rule, is a proper gay man has 3 drinks on his desk at all times, and one has to be an iced latte.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you've learned something about my culture today.
I feel like that's just neurodivergent people.
Do you think that's what it
I
is?
do, yeah. My friends and I were just having this conversation the other day of having the multiple beverages because there's one that's water because you're
Yes,
always guilted.
always water,
You're
yes.
always guilted into drinking water.
Yes.
One is for caffeine.
Yes.
It is only a caffeine
Need that
delivery
kick.
system. And then one is for fun. Or one is for deliciousness.
This is true.
Yeah, and it's
But like, depending on where you're at, don't have like a cocktail at work. But
no,
you know,
no. But it's
Unless you're me.
it's a part of a thing of just like stimulating yourself or kind of soothing yourself, of like jumping between the drinks. So it could be, we think it's more of a
I kind
neurodivergent
of
thing.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that definition. Plus, it makes me seem cooler and more interesting.
You are plenty interesting.
She's so good for me. I love it. Yeah, one of the most fascinating things. So, when you first in your life started to be intrigued, because as we know, coffee takes over the world.
Yes.
And tea tends to be that interesting little sister, really, to coffee. When did you know that, no, this is more what I want? This is more my speed.
Well, tea was my first love, actually. When I was in high school, I had a place that was a tea shop
That you love to go to.
that I loved to go to, and would go to as much as I possibly could, and was our favorite hangout space. And we'd have tea and talk to the tea man for hours and
Wow.
learn all about the tea stuff, and also all of his
Was he
drama with
also a
his
tea
wife.
monk?
Like, no, he was not a tea monk, but he was very talkative, and
Yeah.
I'm very talkative, so we talked a lot. And so kind of just learning the process through him and having the different tastings and finding that spot where you feel you belong,
Yeah.
and finding that spot where you feel you can exist and just exist.
Yeah.
Like that is priceless. And for that feeling, that environment for me was always associated with tea. And so the fact that we had a much better response to tea, like from tea drinkers than
Right.
coffee drinkers here, I was thrilled.
That's amazing. Now,
Yeah.
I want to take a poll of the audience. Like before, if you're not a regular customer here, do you find that it's a whole new experience to learn about tea and to taste tea and to see what it is?
I think so.
Because
I don't-
coffee
I-
tends to be the go-to.
Well, I don't drink coffee.
Oh, wow,
he doesn't
good.
drink
We
coffee.
have a convert. I love it.
I don't like coffee
His
at
coffee
all.
is cocoa.
I drink hot
Oh,
cocoa.
yeah, I
That's
get that.
all
I get that.
But you know, I tend to have just like regular, like standard original black Lipton tea. Like that's all I ever drink, and I rarely step outside that, just because
We're so happy
I'm
you're
afraid
here.
to take a test and then not like it. So
Oh, yeah.
This is
See?
fun for me.
That's
So-
why this happens.
Yeah. So the gentleman on the couch said he only drinks Lipton black tea.
Yeah. And if now
No,
I'm
don't
not
be
gonna
sorry.
place a label like basic on you, but I
No,
will
no.
challenge you to come to Lunarium.
Exactly,
They
that's
have
what I was gonna
80
say.
bazillion
So,
teas.
no, but you're exactly who we want to come in, because
Yes.
we have so many different things, and also we can guide you to different things. You don't have to be worried about tasting something you might not like, or if you don't like it, then we will help you find something you do like. Like, you're not alone in this
Right.
this tea journey. Like, we can help
Yeah.
you, and it's just like so many people don't like
And
tea
it's
because
typically
they
a safe space if I'm not here to
yeah,
hassle
it's a
you.
safe place. But I mean, so many people have just not had good tea,
No.
or have not had tea that has been brewed the right way. And so it's not your fault that
Well,
you
and-
don't like tea.
Culturally, I feel like we are not guided towards tea.
Correct.
It is very much towards coffee. And I listen, I'm an addict and I love coffee, but this is what's fun about tea is, first of all, I find so many more varieties, really,
Yes.
in the tea world. And so, because we're not culturally put that way, it's fun when you discover these places to kind of learn something else. So
Yeah.
do you guys, so you can come in here, you can order some new fancy tea. Are you guys ever gonna sell like loose leaf of
Oh,
your
we
own?
do already.
Tell me.
We
Tell me
do.
everything.
We sell all of our teas, and we also have a very fancy subscription box now.
Wow, you guys are fancy.
Well,
A
so
subscription box. Tell me
Yes.
more.
So what happened with that is my partner Dorian and I drink way too much tea, and we try way too many teas.
Never.
We're getting pretty close. And we find these incredible teas that are just by default too expensive to put on our everyday menu.
Oh, sure.
But we still want all of you to try them. So our subscription box are the teas we can't afford to put on the menu, but that are just too good for people to not try.
So they get it once a month,
Yep.
or what's the thing?
So it's $35 a month,
That's not
and you get a tin of tea every month.
Now we can put this on TV like at 2 a.m, and
Yeah.
this is our infomercial.
There we go.
So there you
Tea.
go.
But no, we do sell all of our regular teas.
Yeah.
We bag them to like by demand, and we have cute little tins with labels. Oh, and it's almost Christmas, so everybody needs to buy tea for their loved
I
ones.
don't know if you noticed, Mariah's been singing for like a whole week now.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, she thawed out and won't leave us alone.
I'm not ready. I
No.
am not ready.
Oh no, I have to say, having a place within Spokane, first of all, that isn't afraid to be quirky with like the artists that have painted the murals on your wall. It already lends to being in a place where you feel like you don't have to be a specific way.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I was reading about was this idea of a third space.
Yes.
And basically what psychologists say and everything, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong.
You can tell me if I'm right or wrong.
First space is your home. That's where, that's where you land at the end of the day. That's where you start safely in your day most of the time. Second space is work, because we spend more time at work than we honestly do with our loved ones at home. And third space, they consider an anchor space. It's a community space. It's a space outside where you feel comfortable to go be who you are. Is that also how you would interpret?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
why was that important to you?
That's important to me, to me and Dorian, and all of our staff as well, because there's so few of those places. And especially once COVID hit, all of those places disappeared.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it was hard enough to survive COVID, and then to relearn how to be social.
Yes.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah.
That was an absolute nightmare. And then I think just being a space where you can exist was hard before COVID, but now even more so.
Yeah.
And so just trying to understand kind of where the difficulty was. Like, why do you feel uncomfortable in certain places? Why aren't they community hubs?
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with how uncomfortable chairs were. Like, that was our first concern.
True
It was
statement.
like, coffee places do not have comfortable chairs.
No, because they don't want you to stay.
Correct.
Yes.
And we want you to stay.
Point one.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's true, but it's
But
true.
it's true. It was
if you
just
look
a
at business
simple-
models, it's such a horrible, non-welcoming truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that was one of our very first ideas, was we want people to come in and stay. And if we want people to come in and stay, they need something comfortable to sit on.
Exactly.
It was something that seems so simple, but it really resonates. It's like, we want you to actually have a space to do things.
And that's why I see another tea coming our way. So as that heads our way,
okay.
that's why I want to start talking about this. I love this. I will be honest. Third space is something that I haven't ever called it. I know the concept, and I think that's amazing. It also lends very well to what we would say in my world, which is a safe space.
Yes.
Which we all need.
Yes.
And so we're going to talk a little bit more about why that's important. But now, what is our next delicious?
So this is something very special,
Oh, I like special.
just for you and our friends. So this is a ripe puer tea.
Where?
Puer tea, yes, for tea
Like
lovers.
where, but it's where.
Exactly.
Not like pear.
Not like pear.
You're welcome.
So this is actually a fermented tea.
Oh, a fermented tea.
Yes. And what happens is the tea leaves are, this isn't very sexy, but they're artificially inoculated with fermenting agents. Yeah, I know, it's weird. And then they're dried and compressed into bricks and then left to age.
Oh.
Yes.
This sounds like something very much like out of Japan, or where they love to ferment, or
Yeah,
Korea, or where fermentation is more respected.
Yes.
If it's not wine.
It is mostly China, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Definitely the idea of fermentation as adding valuable flavors is not a Western
And
concept
if you
at
smell
all.
it, you can smell the fermentation. You know what I mean? As it's coming off of
And
it.
so what is really neat about puer teas is that the flavor changes as you steep it.
Oh, wow.
So this is also an aged tea, which not a lot of people have a lot of experience with. And so the more aged it is, the more important it is to completely dump the very first pot of tea that you make with the tea.
Interesting.
Yes, it's called like the warehouse wash.
The warehouse wash.
Yes,
I feel like
because
that should be a song.
it will taste like where it was stored.
Oh,
Yeah.
delicious.
Not nice.
Yeah.
Not nice. But
What is the flavor profile that I'm tasting?
so Loomy Forest is what you're
Okay.
looking for.
A Loomy Forest.
And then after you swallow it, you're gonna get like a back flavor of honey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you taken your stroll down the forest yet?
And I would not recommend this with cream, by the way.
Not recommended
Not
with cream.
recommend this with cream because this is a really nice
Did
mellow
you just
flavor.
ruin it?
No,
The couch almost ruined it.
no, the couch did not almost
Can
ruin it.
not involve the whole couch with his mistakes.
So
You are now gay.
couch number one. But it is the most uniquely flavored tea I think I've ever had. Obviously,
It is
the
just so
fermentation,
lovely.
but
Yeah, so we really want to bring more puer teas to Spokane because it is very unusual
yeah.
and it's so delicious.
So you're saying there's even different flavor profiles depending on the puer tea and how they do it?
Yes.
Interesting.
And it depends on how it's aged, it depends on like what kind of fermentation it's had, and there's really like sky's the limit.
That's amazing. I feel like I should label myself as a puer tea.
As a pu-
because I
as a
have
puer
aged
tea?
very uniquely.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, with a lot of interesting environmental factors that brings you this. So
Well, I don't want to be responsible for your warehouse.
yeah, I don't
Your
want
warehouse,
the warehouse
wash.
No,
I'm
no.
good. Yeah.
But this is good. So if I'm looking out here at the
Uh-huh.
lovely people that are here, what are we thinking? Puer tea. Oh, you're being very proper over here. Oh, God.
People are drinking.
You see, I did
The
that.
fragrance is amazing.
I was gonna say that's the first thing I saw you wafting the, because it hits you right away. It's the whatever's fermenting in there. Yeah.
So
See,
nice.
I test this better than when I drink wine. You know how you're supposed to swish it around and spit it out? I just drink it. But this I feel I get more on my palate with this kind of tea. So this is the puer tea, the one puer tea you have, but you're looking to bring more.
Yes, and it's kind of difficult because we picked a good one to be like the basic first introduction to puer
Yeah.
that was really solid, that people would enjoy. And now we're like, it's too solid. What else? Like, what?
It's
what else
really
are we
good.
gonna do? Yeah. Oh, and once we're done with this steep, we are gonna get a second steep just to kind of compare.
Ooh.
I know, just
This
to
is
see
fancy.
the difference. Yes.
I like it. Okay, so tell me if this is true. I read this, but you know, sometimes if you read it online, you're not sure if it's real. Did I hear that the longer you steep a tea that's caffeinated,
Yes.
the more caffeinated it becomes? I heard that if
Yes,
you let
but
it
also
steep
the
longer,
more undrinkable it becomes.
the more undrinkable.
Yes.
I could see that.
Well, so it really depends on how you brew it though, because during the summer we will do cold brews
Of tea?
of tea.
I'm in.
No, and it's so easy and it's so good. And so we'll just put tea, whatever tea, black tea, green tea, white teas, any tea. We'll just put them in a pitcher in the fridge overnight, and it's great. It pulls all the really delicate flavors. It's nice and
like-
refreshing.
Does this lend to a
Oh my
an
goodness,
ice one?
it is so
Really?
good.
I would be
so
curious.
good cold brewed. Well, I have some, you know,
Oh,
you
I
could take home, and I'm
think
sure
that's
you have a
right.
fridge. Yeah,
I know. Well, it depends. Sometimes the box has a fridge, sometimes it doesn't. Under the river, under the bridge in the river.
So if you brew it that way, you can get very delicate flavors. But if you brew a dark tea in hot water, you need to be very sensitive about the time you leave it in the hot water, because you will. How to explain this? It will get more and more astringent, and it's like that feeling where you drink a
Becomes-
liquid
Yeah.
and your mouth dries out.
Oh no, like a crab apple.
Like a crab
oh,
apple.
No.
So when you have a tea that tastes like that, it has been brewed for too long.
That's interesting. What you were mentioning earlier, there are so many things you can get out of tea. One you were mentioning were in the beginning of time when they were discovering tea, medicinal.
Yep.
It's funny how many times your mother will tell you, my mother will, about doing a tea bag, and you're not using it to steep tea, but then you're getting it wet, letting it steep, and then you use it like some people use it on their eyes, you know, to take care of the bags. I obviously don't need that. Or toothaches, all of these things. Like tea does some crazy stuff.
There are medicinal herbs in them
Yeah.
still. And we have a couple that have medicinal herbs in them as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is just like I don't want to sound cheesy, but like the power of nature and the power of medicine is still like started out in herbs. and then became like complicated molecules and pharmaceuticals and all that stuff.
Right.
But, yeah, why wouldn't you use a tea bag?
I know. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So this is lovely. Let me see if I can find any other trivia.
Yes.
Does anybody know something about tea that I don't know? Which is a lot. So, anybody? Oh, over here, yes. Couch number 3.
That's me. I do know that, particularly at the time of the Boston Tea Party, it used to be sold in bricks.
Yes. Yeah. Dried,
Which
right?
is why,
Drying
it was,
into
such a, why it
the.
was such a big deal. The Boston Tea Party was such a big deal because it's not like your tea bags that you get. And the tea bags were originally sold as samples of the bricks that you would be buying.
That's crazy. And also, does anybody else have these thoughts run through their mind? Like, I wonder how long the bay there tasted like tea. Because so much tea was poured in there, and I want to know. I would have swam in it, except I can't swim, so I would have died in it. Is it? Oh, but it's crazy to me to think about those things. Also, the other thing is people read tea leaves.
Yes.
So I can't deal with like loose tea in my tea, but people
Yeah.
did drink it that way. And now even today there are people out there who will read your tea leaves
We
for
still
you.
drink it that way too.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because, okay, so when you steep a really nice tea, or I mean, even a basic tea, the goal is still to like infuse everything from that leaf, right?
Right.
So the better teas have a complete leaf. And so if you don't let that leaf expand, you're not getting
Right.
the most out of your tea. So this is why loose leaf is important. You just need a better strainer if you
Yeah.
don't want the chunks.
That's true, actually. And there are some fancy strainers out there.
Yeah,
also,
I have
it's like
some on my shelf.
See, she's got everything
I
here.
have
I don't know if you
everything for
noticed.
you.
Also, it's a lot like a bay leaf. So I come from bigger stock of people, as you can tell. And so in Italian, when you're making Italian dishes, the bay leaf is a very important part of it because you put it in whole and you let it be part of the stewing process for sauces and things like that. So, yeah. That
Oh,
makes
you can
perfect
also
sense.
cook with tea, by the way.
Cook with tea?
Yeah.
Like what?
So there's a rice dish that's made with tea in Japan.
see
It's
that.
really yummy. There's ways of smoking with tea leaves as well.
Interesting.
So yeah, pretty much the limit is your imagination.
I love that. By looking around the room, who has been to Lunarium prior to this moment in time? So you have a good mix of people who've never been here.
The other one?
It was the one we were sharing with the bakery.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So were you always like, let's start over here. Were you always look like, to me it was a new concept to come into a tea shop and to have everything that you could have in a tea shop. Was that something you had experienced before, or when it opened you were intrigued?
Yeah, I have never been to a place like this. First time I came also was when you were with the bakery, and we had a great fat girls chillin' meetup, hangout.
I love this already.
Yeah, and so it was a place that fostered community, and we knew that that's what we wanted to jump in.
So they did exactly what a business is supposed to do, which is you followed them.
Yeah.
Where they win. Also, I love this idea of a fat girl hangout, and I need that in my life. I need that. And then there's people. You've been here.
Nope.
Oh, you haven't. So this is the first.
That was exciting.
Is the experience like even the atmosphere is something different, right?
It's nice because I love tea. I have my own little tea parties at home with friends.
Oh, I love this.
So I didn't even know this was here. So this is super great.
welcome.
I love tea. So
Yeah.
I love your shop.
There's tons
See,
of tea. So
and
much
people can
tea.
have tea parties here. You can
Yeah.
have them in your house. You can have them wherever you want. One of the things that is fun that you guys do here is you bring out a timer sometimes.
Yes.
when-
This is very important.
Yes, and like you have the fancy ceramic teapots. They
Uh-huh.
bring out a timer so you know how long it steeps. I mean,
Yes.
you get to feel pretty cool.
Well, it's so important because oversteeped or overbrewed tea is not fun. Don't drink that. You don't have to.
No.
Drink good tea.
And
Drink
let
good
people
tea.
who know what they're doing help you. 'Cause,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that. I see another one that's going to be heading
so
our way.
this is going to be the second steep of the blue
Oh, I'm
label
excited to see the difference.
All right. Oh,
Taste
hang
the
on.
difference. Isn't that like some company's logo, I think? I'm excited. I want to see if you can also tell and smell. You know what I mean? It does smell stronger.
It's a little sharper. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So we'll everybody try it and let me know what you think as we go, as we
Yeah.
move forward. And while we sip this one,
Uh-huh.
I want to talk about safe spaces.
Okay.
In my world, in my queer community, it's not only is a third space important to all humans, but a safe space where you can just be and exist as who you are is, I think, now more important than ever as it's out there. This place is very welcoming.
Thank you.
To everybody, and how we find ourselves on whatever scale we choose and how we express who we are. Was that just a natural thing that happened because of who you and your partner are, or was that something you thought through?
So that's a really good question. Because
you get one Oprah question
really
during an interview,
question.
and there it is.
So when we opened this location, my plan was always to be an open, safe space,
Right.
And love the queer community, always been in the queer community. And then something happened when we first opened here. I got very overwhelmed, as you can imagine, opening a business
for
and everything.
sure.
And so I kind of pushed a lot of things off of my plate. I was like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. But things still happened around me. So our hired people, the staff that we were interviewing, queer person, like,
sure.
we're hiring you. And then all of a sudden I was walking around the dining room and I was like, these are my people.
Yeah.
They have found us, and here
Yep.
they are. Like, there's someone drawing in the corner. There's another person, like, hand sewing leather bags. Like,
So crazy.
there's
I
a
love
first date of two adorable little, like, teenage girls. Like, I was like, this is my place. And
Right.
yes, I built it, but all the plans I had to make it this way,
Yeah.
didn't have time to get to them.
Yeah.
And it just kind of happened. And so I don't really know how it happened. But I am so grateful, and I don't know. I mean, that's
I think
all
it's.
I got.
I think it comes with, in my opinion, as my brother would call me, woo woo. Woo woo is if you exist in a world where your energy is open to that, then those people will find you.
Yeah.
You know, what's that old shoeless Joe Jackson? If you build it, they will come. And
Yeah.
I think because it's needed, that beacon goes out and we find that safe space. I like to say on our show, wherever we are doing a show, that the world inside, wherever we are at that point, needs to reflect how it should be outside those walls.
Yeah.
And it should be celebrating each other and embracing each other and letting us all just be the people that we are.
Yeah.
And I love that these places exist for that purpose.
And I think this is a little bit emotional, but I'm so glad that we are here.
Yeah.
And as we continue to see, like, this year has been really rough for the queer community, and just seeing all the horrible things that have been happening,
Yeah.
and all of the hate and all of the smearing campaigns and all the just everything, and just being able to still exist and to still welcome people to just come and exist.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how else to explain it, but it's
Yep.
just being able to be that safe place, and also being able to be the safe place where your identity or your preferences are not your entire
Yeah.
being.
I'm super gay, but there's a lot more to me than just that aspect of me.
And yeah,
Yeah. And I have to say, I was talking to a friend of mine who's here, couch number one. Hello.
Couch number one.
And here's what we try to say to people all the time.
Yeah.
We specifically chose the term QueerCentric in our name because queer, to me, opens that table to where, you know, Dave's like, well, where do I fit on the scale? It doesn't matter where you fit on the scale. What matters is, are you human?
Yeah.
Are you human, and do you care about other humans? And do we accept all people? Yeah, we do, because that's the queer community.
Yeah.
That's not, you don't have to identify as a sexuality. Queer is for everyone. And so we always tell our listeners, go queer the world. We're just going to go queer it. And I have a hat that says it, we are proud queerdos. It's about just celebrating ourselves. And places like this need to exist so that we can evolve and move forward as we do. And I love it. And I appreciate you because you've been so welcoming to us.
Of course.
And yeah.
It's been so much fun.
It has been. So is this was our fourth of the flight?
No, we still have one last
Listen
tea.
up. I'm excited. One more tea. Are you ready? There's been caffeine in the last 3?
Last 2, yeah.
Okay, I feel it. Yeah.
A little caffeine.
So we need a little kick. So we'll have one more. First of all, sound from the audience. Have you enjoyed having a little tea adventure?
Yes.
And learn something new, hopefully as well. I will say I might actually have tea in my house now.
What?
Shocking. Listen, I was raised on coffee, black tar coffee, the real stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But what if you ever have guests?
What?
What if you have guests?
Oh, guests weren't allowed to come into my house unless they drank my coffee.
Oh,
But
my
now we can offer. You see, you have opened up this man's mind. That's what it's all about.
I was just gonna say, well, then you can come to my house and exist as you are.
See, exactly. That's how you school it. So I think it's amazing, and with as many different kinds of teas. I mean, like I said, I have a lot of European friends who always make fun of me because I won't drink tea, but now I want to have a high tea.
Yeah.
I wanted that. It
We'd
would
love
be
to
the
have a high
most fun.
tea.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a tea journey on New Year's Eve.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And I also want to take this little opportunity. Can I do one plug for an event?
Please plug it.
So, tradition here at Lunarium is on Christmas Day. We will be open.
Oh, wow.
And we are having a giant Christmas cookie party.
Oh.
And all of the cookies are free.
Wow.
And this is going to be an LGBTQA event.
That's amazing.
Because if you do not have family, for whatever reason, if you cannot be with family that day, you can come be our family that day.
That'll make me cry. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We should applaud. Right? Let's applaud. But you're right. And also, if you do have family and you need a break from that family and you
Yes.
need a more welcoming family, sometimes that's needed as well.
Or you need to feed them cookies so they stop talking.
Exactly. Or maybe I can surprise my mother and just say,
there you
hey,
go.
we're going to go grab a cookie. And she won't know what we're doing. And it'll be my best gift to myself I could ever give.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did this at the pop-up. It was great. And actually, really surprisingly, the most people that came to that event were seniors who were spending Christmas alone.
That's beautiful.
So my wish is that we do this every year and just see what happens.
Exactly. And this will be your first
Our
time
first one
in this
space. Yeah,
That's
super excited.
amazing. You can sit on a stage, everything. You can just do it all.
Just be like, bring forth cookies.
See, I love that. So as we anticipate, what are we expecting in the last of the flight of this
The
journey
last
we're
of
on?
the so we're gonna do really nice jasmine pearls just to kind of end the night.
And you were telling me it's a great way to cleanse the palate.
Yes, very delicate, very gentle.
Just like me.
Sure.
Yeah. Delicate and gentle.
Sure.
Yeah.
You also said you were 30, so I don't.
I know. I mean, you don't know.
That's true. I don't know, but
No, we recently had Les Mis come to Spokane, which is a great show. If you haven't seen it, I think tonight's the last night. No, tomorrow is. Get tickets. And I realized it was the first Broadway show I ever saw 29 years ago.
Wow.
So moments like that make you realize, I've lived through
man,
too
you know
much.
what did it for me? Was when I hired someone that was 21, and I was just like, my
Right?
heart.
Anytime I see that vertical license, I'm like, oh
Oh
crap.
my God,
Okay.
I know. It's
and then I have
hard
to get
as
my
well.
glasses out so I can read it.
But then I just think about cool stories and things that have happened in my life. I'm like,
Thank
well,
you.
you know. And then I think about how hard my life was when I was 20, and I was like, I do
Right.
not want that
No,
ever
right.
again.
We all got a story to tell.
Yeah.
So we should
Well,
tell
luckily
it.
the 20s is over.
I know.
so.
Yeah, lucky is right. 30s were my favorite. Here comes this, and
Jasmine
you said Jasmine
pearls.
Pearl.
Yes.
I'm excited.
And I hear some excited voices in the
I
audience
know. I
as
just
well.
heard these people. I love it.
Couch 3 is excited.
I'm a tea person. I'm a vocalist, so tea
Oh,
is my happy place.
Thank you.
Couch number 3
exactly.
is a
Let's do
vocalist.
this.
who loves
Couch
tea.
3 is elated.
I love that's a good name. I have to say when I sing, I use teas because nothing else works.
Don't use caffeine. It drives
No,
up vocal
exactly.
levels. Oh my gosh.
And as like a good proper man of my age, Barbara Streisand, she taught me she would have little teacups every single time she'd do a live show. And now, if you haven't read the book, it's out now, and it's amazing.
And it's also, along with the herbal properties, it's also because of the warmth will actually relax.
Thank you. Exactly.
Sorry.
I love that.
Came out voice too.
I love this. So yeah, we're just telling you people you go out and sing. You're caroling this time of year. Have some tea with you. Okay, so talk to me about this one. This, you can smell the jasmine right off the bat.
Okay, so jasmine pearls are pretty tricky to make.
Yeah.
If you see them in the jar, they're like tiny little balls of tea. And so how they're made is they're basically, the leaves are picked and they're spread out to dry.
Yeah.
And once they're all spread out to dry, and sorry for podcast listeners, they can't see my fingers jiggle, but
they're making Broadway fingers right now.
Yeah, Broadway fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're layered with jasmine flowers.
Nice.
Then the jasmine flowers are removed, and another layer of jasmine flowers is added. And then once those have sat for a while, those jasmine flowers are removed, and a third one is laid on top of
That is
it.
very intricate.
Yes. And then the final layer is removed, and then all of the tea leaves are balled together to make little pearls.
Wow.
And so the reason why jasmine pearls, or good jasmine pearls, are so good is because they only have the essence of the jasmine flowers. They don't have the jasmine flower itself.
Yeah.
Because the jasmine flower itself will give like a soapy kind of floral taste.
Like ginger to some of us that tastes like soap. Yeah.
Yeah, not great. But the essence of jasmine is very nice. So,
And this always, and I don't know if it's true or not, but whenever I have jasmine teas or things like that, it relaxes me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's caffeinated, but it does feel like I'm
it
a
is
little...
a little caffeinated.
It tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Have you had jasmine tea before?
I have, yeah. A friend who was really happy to get me on the tea train.
Nice.
We went and shopped at a tea place and shared a bag of the jasmine tea together so we could get a nice big.
There is nothing.
Yes.
It is probably one of the most flavorful teas that even though it's so soothing to me, there's so much to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And
Well,
I have to say I prefer mine
yes.
a little less steeped than this. It's even more kind of light
oh,
and
so
airy.
you like that light feeling? Yeah, and it does clear out that palette of all the things. I have to say, for everybody who's been here tonight, I hope that you've enjoyed a night of teas. Of
So
tea
much
tasting.
tea.
I feel very classy,
You
which
are
rarely
classy.
have. Well, you know, I'm classy and sassy,
There
so
we
I feel pretty classy tonight. I have to, from working in my community, I have to say I love your establishment. We try to push
you.
as many people your way as we possibly can. I appreciate everybody having a sense of humor tonight. Basic, does that work? Yeah. You've been very kind to put up with me. My favorite thing in the world is to laugh and to share good moments with good people, as Aimee Clark shares with us tonight. So let's hear it one more time for Lunarium and the establishment and Aimee. As a parting gift, what do you hope people take away from your establishment when they come in and experience the first time?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Really don't, because we're here to guide you on this journey. And if you don't think you belong here, you probably do.
Yeah.
You probably do.
And we learned about tea monks,
Yeah.
which I'm going to go take the blue pill and find out how that works. So thank you again, everyone, for this. Did you have one more? Yes.
Yeah. If we could thank Dorian for serving us.
Yes, Dorian.
And my
Not
tea.
only thank Dorian, but also for writing the menu.
Yeah, Dorian.
That's
Jeez.
crazy. That's really good.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah.
He is very funny when he tries.
I I love it with all my heart.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming out. Enjoy your tea. And looking forward to seeing all
And
you guys
enjoy the
about.
community that is around you. And remember, for the people watching at home, you can check out this episode. It'll come out on a Tuesday. You go to the QueerCentric.com. You can also follow us on all of the Instas. And remember, we have merch now, so feel free to do that. But most important is find the places in your town that offer you community, a third space, and a safe space, because we need to support more of those. But until next time, everyone, bye!
Hey, Tom. Patreon. How's it going? Patreon. I am doing great. Patreon.
Wow, are you having like a stroke or something?
What are you talking about? Patreon. That's just my weird eye.
Well, no, I'm used to that, but you're skipping like an old CD. Should I knock you on the side of the head?
Oh, okay, calm down. Patreon. I read this thing on subliminal advertising, and since we are pushing our Patreon, I thought I'd try it out. Patreon.
Well, very subtle. I'm not sure your version of subliminal advertising is quite the method they had in mind. Patreon. Now you have me doing it.
Once you start, it's kind of hard to stop. It's kind of soothing.
And if by soothing you mean nails screeching on a chalkboard, then sure. To be very clear, it's annoying.
Yeah, I picked that up, thanks.
We could just be straightforward and tell people to visit our Patreon at patreon.com/thequeercentric.
But I was hoping to be cool and stealth-like.
And you were accomplishing neither of those things.
You're always ruining my fun. Fine. We can just tell them that we have different levels of donations and you get cool stuff on each level and even get exclusive things.
Oh, that's the attitude. Your enthusiasm will be really contagious.
Visit us at patreon.com/thequeercentric to support us today. I mean, I swear it's fun, and we will forever be grateful.
There you go.
Patreon.
Come on, are you serious?
Leave me alone.